The humor is just like this dry wit that you can't help laughing at. It feels kind of like a Victorian Bridget Jones. Do you want to read more and feel good about what you're reading, but struggle with time and finding clean books? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Cassidy, a wife, mom, and a lifelong reader whose faith shapes what I read. I learned how to make time for books and choose ones that align with my values. If you're ready for clean books you don't have to second guess and simple reading tips that fit real life, cozy up and let's make reading fun again. Quick pause before we dive in. If you're like, yes, I want to read more, but I need help doing it, I'm hosting a free live Read More challenge from June 2nd to the 3rd. This is for you if you're struggling with finding time to read, finding clean books without wasting time on the wrong ones, and staying consistent and actually finishing books. I'm going to walk you through this step by step in a super simple, doable way. You can join here at fruitfulreader.com/challenge. I would seriously love to see you there. Everybody raise your hand, even though I can't see you. Have you said too many books so little time before? I think we all have said that probably. And on top of that, we're trying to find time. We get distracted, we start a book, and then we just don't finish it. It's super frustrating. I remember I would get book recommendations for like books that were like 700 pages long, and I'm like, I cannot do this right now. I need something easy to read. So I'm gonna give you a couple tips on getting that reading habit started and give you some books that are so easy to dive into. You're gonna be a reader in no time. So how do we do it? I want you to start so small, like ridiculously small. I want you to read for 5 minutes a day. That's it. Start with 5 minutes a day. If you go over, great. If not, that's totally okay. Anybody can do 5 minutes. We all have 5-minute pockets somewhere in our day. So start there. I want you to keep a book with you everywhere you go. In the car line, in appointments, waiting rooms, when you're doing chores around the house, everywhere. When you have a book available, you will read more. Try audiobooks. Audiobooks are such a game changer. Yes, they count as reading. Yes, they are amazing. And you are going to be zooming through books so much faster than you thought possible. I really suggest pairing reading with something you already do. I learned this from Atomic Habits. It's the reason why I read my Bible every day. It is so good. So maybe you pair reading with your cup of coffee in the morning, or at your end of your bedtime routine, or maybe at your lunch break at work. Pair reading with something you already do. It's called habit stacking, and it's going to make it so much easier. And really track your progress so you can see yourself building momentum. This will encourage you and help motivate you to read every single day. So let's get to the point. I want to share some clean, beginner-friendly books that are going to keep you hooked. Here are some of my favorite picks. The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower. These are delightful. They are amazing. They are lovely. I adore them. I have read all of them up to book 8, which is where we are right now until she releases the next one. I read them on audio, but you can also read them on Kindle or paperback. It's like a diary style series about Emma's life in London at St. Crispian's. And it's just so peaceful, but also in the most chaotic, fun way. It has a huge, wide cast of characters, and it's very character driven. The humor is just like this dry wit that you can't help laughing at. It feels kind of like a Victorian Bridget Jones. It's such a blast. There's like adventures, the friendships, the bookish vibes. It's everything you could want. The first few books are novellas, which is why I recommend them. So by the time you're getting through them and they get to the bigger books, you're gonna already have that habit built up. The next one I always recommend is When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer. This one follows Libby, and she actually lived in 2 different time periods: 1774 colonial Williamsburg and 1914 New York City. And as her 21st birthday gets closer, she has to choose which life she's going to stay in, which is like such a cool concept. It's kind of like this twist of a dual timeline, but also kind of time travel that is just so engaging. I listened to all of these on audiobook as well, and the narrator's really great. I love watching the characters grow throughout the story, and honestly, the first one is great, but the other books are even better. I think it's super fun to find a series that is bingeable and has lots of books in it, because you already know you like the author, you already know you like the concept. So it just makes it easier to continue that habit of reading. Next up is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. And I know some of you are like, wait, this is a middle grade book, or I don't like fantasy, but hang in there with me. This one is just so fun. It follows Harry, who finds out on his 11th birthday that he's a wizard and he gets invited to Hogwarts. And from there, it's just like a super fun magical adventure. It's just one of those books that are so easy to get into. I've read it multiple times over the years and it never gets old. They have have a full production audiobook too, and they have the paperbacks, obviously. You can read it on Kindle. They're just super comforting and immersive place to build a reading habit. Next up, I have a historical. This is The Number of Love by Rosanna M. White. I adore this author so much. She is absolutely wonderful and amazing. This is set during the Great War and follows Margaret, who is a code breaker working on decoding messages. She ends up forming this connection with a wounded agent, and together they're dealing with spies, secrets, and all these high stakes situations. I love this one because it's so fast paced and the characters are very complex. It's one of those books where you just cannot put it down, and it has that perfect mix of suspense and romance. Next is Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. So this follows Izzy, who's this quirky, fun, book-loving girl who dreams of owning a bookstore but struggles to connect with people. Her cousin sets her up with an online dating profile that leads to this long-distance relationship. Plus, there's also a local author who starts showing interest. So it's kind of like a love triangle, but you kind of know where it's going. It's just really fun and relatable, especially if you're a bookworm. There's so many fun literary references, which I just absolutely love. I listened to this whole series on audio, and the narrator absolutely nailed it for me. It's told through emails and text, so it has a really unique setup and just so easy to read. Next up is Marrying the Billionaire by Maureen D. Ray. This one follows Jane, who enters into a fake marriage with this billionaire named Colton. I know billionaire romances are so fun and it's just so funny. I love that trope. She moves into his mansion. He's super grumpy at first, but of course you start to see his softer side, and their fake relationship starts to feel a little too real. I love it. It has all my favorite tropes. It has the marriage of convenience, forced proximity, a grumpy sunshine. The banter is so good, and it's just one of those books that make you smile the whole time. Could I even make a list without K.M. Shaw? I think not. This one is The King's Captive, and it follows Chloe, who is a shapeshifter, and she turns into a house cat. Oh my goodness, I can't even describe the delight I got from this. I know it sounds wild, but you gotta stay with me. She ends up in this world of vampires and werewolves and fae, and she gets taken in by the powerful elf king, but she has to hide who she really is. Well, everything around her gets more dangerous. I picked this one up during a reading slump, and it completely pulled me out of it. It's funny, it's unique, it's so easy to get hooked on, and it is just fun. Please go read K.M. Shaw. She writes the most amazing urban fantasy paranormal type books. They're completely clean, just 100%. I love her. The next one on my list is a classic, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. This one follows Lucy and her siblings who discover the magical world called Narnia through a wardrobe. They end up on this mission to help defeat the White Witch and restore peace. This is a great starting point because it's short, it's magical, it's super easy to follow, and I know it's a middle grade, but it's still so enjoyable as an adult as well. This is one of the first books that made me feel the sense of wonder while reading. I think it's a great book to start with. And the last one is Sandover Beach Memories by Emma St. Clair. This one follows Jenna, who goes back to her hometown after her mom passes away and after going through a divorce. And while she's there, she reconnects with her childhood sweetheart, but also another guy from her past who's trying to prove that he's changed. So she's kind of stuck between the past and what her future could look like. I read this on a beach trip, and it made it even better. It's set in this charming beach town. It has those cozy second chance romance vibes. The characters are so well written, and the love story is just so sweet. Emma St. Clair writes amazing contemporary romances, and I have loved every single one of her books. So if you've been feeling stuck with reading, start small, pick books you actually are excited about, and don't overcomplicate it. And if you want help putting this into your real life, come join me in the live free Read More Challenge. We're gonna do this together. fruitfulreader.com/challenge. Hey friend, if you loved today's episode, take 30 seconds to join our free Facebook community of over 30,000 women at fruitfulreader.com/group and connect with readers who just want to read more without worrying about what they'll run into. And if you haven't yet, leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It truly helps other readers find the show. Now go pick something off that TBR or add 3 more. I won't judge. I'll see you next week. Happy reading.